still got an hour left, but we both know, because I'm a dedicated soldier like that for my company, that I ain't closing the laptop at 5 like I should. So I thought, you know what, let me take a little while out, take some time out and do a video for y'all, basically. Um, so yeah, I do apologize because I did schedule it for excuse me, for 3 o'clock. It's now 4 o'clock UK time. So yeah, apologies. These things happen. You guys know what you know what it is. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. Let's talk about news regarding Alexandre Lacazette. You're like, Chig, you've opened up with a bold statement. What has happened? Because Real Madrid, aren't they discussing for Aubameyang? Yeah. So let me explain to you what's happened. Essentially, as we all know, there's ongoing concerns and doubts about um, Aubameyang. Apparently, um, with Aubameyang, he obviously hasn't clarified his future yet. Anyone knows that Aubameyang likes the idea of moving to Real Madrid. It's something that he made a promise to his dad, or his granddad apparently made him promise that if he ever has a chance to move to Real Madrid, he would take it. Up until now, he's mainly been linked with moves to Inter Milan, to Man United, because of course United want every single decent player we do produce, and Inter Milan to United and to Barcelona. Barcelona apparently being the move in particular that is really tempting Aubameyang. Obviously, the whole narrative and story from Aubameyang is that he hates the fact that the press talk about him and to, create problems for him. But in the meantime, he's not clarified his future to shut the press up. So that's why sometimes in these situations, like, all right, stop being prima donnas. If you really were about this life, you'd have signed a contract by now. The club are pretty committed at the moment to keeping Aubameyang. That is their first choice. That is their ideal choice, and as it should be for someone of Aubameyang's goal scoring prowess. You shouldn't be giving away your players where you could possibly help it. But I've always maintained a very strong opinion on this, and that is for me. And I've said this since last summer, and got a lot of grief since last summer, and I will still say the same thing I said last summer. I would want to keep Aubameyang, but ultimately, if he wants to leave, let him bounce. I am not interested in this idea of, oh, well, we should keep Aubameyang out of the principality, or we should keep Aubameyang because we don't want to let go of our best players. To me, it's just not a practical way of looking at it. Because all those people that are saying, and you know who the normal cats are that are saying it, oh, well, we shouldn't let go of Aubameyang. We should play him throughout his last contract. There'll be the same cats that next year, when we have the exact same problem about replacing Aubameyang, but now we don't have any money to replace him with, we'll start bitching when Stan doesn't pull out money of his own accord and spend money to replace Aubameyang. Why don't you? You're going to have the problem anyway. Why don't you sell him now and attempt to replace that caliber player? It's not going to be easy, no matter what way you do it. I would at least try and invest in something or somebody that's going to help me do it. And I've always maintained that. Even when I've had grief, I've always maintained that view. Yes, I want him to stay. That would be my first choice all the time. But at the same time, I would sell him. If he's not committed, I would sell him. I said that last year, and it got a lot of grief. I don't give a damn. I'll say it again. I will sell him if necessary. And we're at that point now where, the man needs to clarify one way or another if he's staying or if he's going. To me, I've always felt like he's going. I think if you were really about this life, you would have signed a contract. You still might, I guess. It's not impossible, but it's looking more likely than not that he will be going. And obviously now Real Madrid have entered the foray, so we just assume now that now Real Madrid are in the race. Aubameyang's going to end up going now. But Arsenal, credit to them, they're trying to be creative. They know that the funds are going to be very limited this summer. More often than not, they're going to have to sell players. I mean, you know, Arsenal like to hoard players like no one's business. They're going to have to sell. It's as simple as that. And they recognize that the one player that they could sell and potentially make some money on, maybe as he's starting to go over the curve of ability, is Lacazette. You know, I think Lacazette turns 29 in May, which I think people overlook. We've already seen a very big dip in his performance this year, which I think concerned a lot of people. I must admit, as a Lacazette fan, it concerned me. He's someone that I've always tried to defend. He's someone that I've always tried to that I've always felt was a very good player, and I don't know what happened this year. I mean, I think it's made a lot of Arsenal fans think, hold on, maybe we should sell on this kid now, try and get something, and reinvest in someone like a Martinelli, who's there ready to have more game time and ready to reproduce. The kid looks awesome, looks amazing, and I can understand why someone might say, all right, well, why don't we sell Lacazette? Like for example, if he was to go to an Atletico Madrid, you would think, well, why don't we make this Partey thing happen? Partey's just sat there. He was offered a contract a while ago to stay at Atletico Madrid. I think he's on £40,000 a week at the moment. Atletico Madrid, as far as I can remember, offered him an £88,000 contract. Even Arsenal, as stingy as they are, you would think can offer more than 88 grand a week. I know our wage bill is pretty high, and I suppose our number one goal this summer would be to try and lessen it. You'd think we can offer more than that for such a caliber of player as well. So you think, to me, that seems like a no-brainer sort of swap to happen. But Arsenal, they're trying to be creative. They said, listen, let's be real here. We don't want to get rid of Aubameyang, but you guys need a goal scorer. We've got a goal scorer when he's about this life. Why don't we make something happen here? Or, why don't you come in, you give us 45 million for Lacazette, we call it a day. So you can see what they're trying to do here. You can see they're trying to just move some chess pieces and see if there's any way they can keep hold of Aubameyang. Because to me, that's the sensible thing to do. That's what you want to do. You want to try and keep your assets and still make as much money as possible. I don't think Real Madrid are going to go for that. I don't think they're foolish. I think, it took them long enough to declare their interest in Aubameyang. I don't think all of a sudden they're going to declare their interest in Lacazette. But I like the thinking, at least, with Arsenal. I like what they're trying to do. I like the fact that they're trying to maneuver some pieces because, I think the one thing that's come out of all this pay cut, pay deferral stuff is that it's clear that they're trying to save at least 25 million from their budget. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, automatically, I now know that Arsenal, at the very least, there's going to be £25 million less for our transfer targets than we initially would have had, particularly if we don't make Champions League and we don't make Europa League when the season does restart. Everyone anticipates the season to restart in June. So with that in mind, it's important for us to be able to know that, okay, we're going into this transfer window 25k in the hole already because we're trying to subsidize for our stupid our high wage bill, which again, I suppose then transitions me into this next story. It's this Mkhitaryan story keeps bubbling. Apparently Roma are trying to think of creative ways to keep Mkhitaryan. I mean, they are passionate about keeping the man. Clearly, he's made some sort of good impression with people there. They are very passionate about keeping him. I mean, to me, you've got someone there who's on 180k a week. Quite honestly, who gives a rat's ass what they offer? Just get him off the books. This is why Arsenal make no sense to me. All right, cool, yeah, all right. You want to get people to, have wage cuts, and I get it. You guys know my feeling on it. For me, I'm not as adamant as others on it. I think, Just because if I was to earn 100K a week, yeah, I'd probably do it. I would probably, cut my wage in order for other people to keep their job. But that's me as a character. But me as a person, I don't get this idea that because I earn that money, then I must do that. You guys know my feeling. For me, I feel uncomfortable saying that, well, because I'm a high earner, I have to do X. I have to do Y. You know? To me, I feel like that's some dodgy ground. I don't like it. I don't think things are ever that black and white for me. Having said all of that, if you know that you are getting to the point as a big club where you feel you need to ask players to take a pay cut, if things are that bad, then surely you must be sat there thinking, boy, all I need to do is all I want to do is just shrink this wage bill. 230 million is a lot of wages. Let me at least get rid of one of the highest earners in the club, in Mkhitaryan. Get rid of him. Just get rid of him. Who cares what we get at this point? Quite honestly, to me, 15 million for a 31-year-old who gets injured a lot and underperforms when he ain't injured, to me is more than enough. Cut your losses, see ya, and at least you're 180K a week less than you would have been. Mustafi, see ya. But to me, I'd get rid of most of that defense. Just cut them wages. Yes, it means you're gonna have to reinvest a little bit more in the kids that are there. You're gonna have to trust the kids a little bit more that are there. If your whole task is, well, this coronavirus has hit us bad, we need to be able to cut these wages high. We need to be a bit brave. No problem. I can actually understand the business mentality behind that. What I don't understand is you're sat there thinking, no, Mkhitaryan don't go anywhere unless we receive 23 million. You ain't getting 23 million out of Roma. Let's be real here. Just be reasonable here. Take 15 million and walk. Take 15 million and walk. That's the way I look at it. But to me, this is just my opinion. I'm just spouting off of things out that just pissing me off, and I just remembered that one. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Apparently, we are also linked with centre back Daniel Regani because it wouldn't be a transfer window unless we are linked at least once with this kid. He's the Juventus 25-year-old centre back. I'm beginning to think this guy just ain't that good. Because I feel like if you were that good, someone should have bought you 3-4 years ago. People will be looking at me as in, but he's in your, you told me the other day that he's all right. Yeah, I think he's all right. But I must admit, I'm starting to doubt myself now. Because the guy, for the last 3 years solid, has been linked with Arsenal and linked with other clubs. And he don't go anywhere. And he ain't that expensive. I think the last time I saw this morning, he was being rated at 25 million. So you just sat there thinking, okay, so cool. What is the actual issue then? Why is it you're not going anywhere? And I'm beginning to think maybe the guy just ain't that good. Obviously, we're looking at centre back partners. Everyone knows that William Saliba comes in, and one of our main goals and objectives for William Saliba coming in is that we're looking for a defensive partner for him. And obviously, this guy is one guy that is being considered. It'll be interesting to see if we actually finally make a move for him. My suspicion is I doubt it. Obviously, I think people are now beginning to realise that the Upamecano thing is looking like a long shot. Oh, I wonder who said that we would never get Upamecano. Probably since last summer. When was it that your boy told you for a morning we ain't getting no Upamecano? Oh wait, was that me? Because I said that from the get-go. From the get-go, as soon as we were linked with this guy, I said, ain't no way we're getting Upamecano. I said that from the get-go. And it's so come to pass because guess who is one of the clubs who I said he would end up at? Guess who's one of the clubs that come in for him? Man City, right on cue. I said it from morning. I said it from the get-go. We ain't get Upamecano because if Man City are really about this life, they will go and get a defender to play alongside my man, who I've forgotten the name of temporarily. They'll get a defender to play alongside him. Upamecano, to me, seems like the kind of guy that would just slot in beautifully in that defense. So From my perspective, I fully expect that to happen. I've said it from get-go. I think he'll go City. So we'll see what happens. You guys let me know what you think. Laporte, thank you very much. Laporte is on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Again, leave it in the comments below. Am I forgetting anything else? Let me just double check. The Coutinho thing, I'm not going to comment on. The Upamecano Instagram hint. I mean, come on, guys. I'm not even gonna again. I'm definitely not gonna give that any more airtime than it needs to be. Paul Pogba, I think, was a secret Arsenal fan. Big surprise. He's French. Probably always liked being at Arsenal. So again, that's something I'm not going to comment too much on. Thomas Partey to Thomas Partey to Arsenal. Is there anything else on that hasn't been said already? Oh, okay. So Arsenal apparently. Wow, this is like breaking news. Breaking news. Okay, so apparently, I'm going to read this report because people always talk about, where is it you get your reports from? Da 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 this, da 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 da. But according to this, if I can flip and find it, because I'm a dumbass and I scroll past it, and now I can't find it. Arsenal have apparently lodged a bid for Thomas Partey, allegedly. Allegedly, we've tabled a bid for 50 million euros, and that is according to the Corriere dello Sport in Italy. The Ghanaian has been linked with several Premier League clubs, but reports earlier this month suggested that he was on the brink of signing a new deal, which would see his buyout clause soar. So Arsenal apparently have actually lodged a bid, which would make a little more sense only in the fact that it's weird that we've not heard anything about Partey accepting the deal, rejecting the deal, and it would be smart for Arsenal to say, all right, well, before this guy's buyout clause doubles in price, why don't we get in there and ask the question? If we have no chance of getting him, we have no chance of getting him. 50 million euros for me, bargain, absolute bargain for the player. Deep down, do I think we'll get him? No, but I like to hear the fact that at least we're in the mix. Just try and make a move, ask a question, and see what happens. But yeah, apparently, according to the Corriere dello Sport, which is, I believe, the Spanish publication. I said Italian. Spanish publication. Arsenal have lodged a 50 million euro bid for Thomas Partey, which is his activation clause. So let's see what happens. All right. Let's go into the chat room and see what you guys are saying. 60 people watching live, which is great. Please do stick a like on this video. You know how we do by now. Them likes, shit. You know, I always hear people bitching about, oh, why do people ask for donations and this, that, and the other? And listen, it just so happens that, you know, YouTube channels, they need donations to survive. I'm fortunate enough, very, very blessed enough to be able to have a primary job that takes care of most of my bills. So I'm happy. You'll never see me press on with donations. And when I do get donations, I always reinvest it back into the show. But the best type of donation, the best thing you can do, you don't need to open that wallet. All you need to do is take 2 seconds and just drill that like button. Drill that like button like it's something you never had before. If you can do that, that'd be great. And Liverpool, you never walk alone. Quite simply, but it's got to work. Things happen. Things happen. You know, I'm working at the moment. I'm going back to work as soon as I finish the show. So things came up. I did do a big speech and explanation as to why I was late. And it is what it is. But all right, let me come into the chat and see what you lot are saying. Literally, I'm going to do 10 minutes of this. Like I said, I actually do have to go back to work. Mr. Franklin in the house doing this bit again. Legend of the game. Thank you, Rich. Yes, please do stick the like on this video. This entire team, 90% need to go. Best squad players, most ridiculous wages. Yeah. Uber's already gone. I don't see the need to continue talking about the subject. I think it's important because until he actually goes, he remains an Arsenal player and he remains, quite frankly, an asset of the club. So I'm at least very interested to see where he goes, how much he goes for, and I'll continue to report on it until otherwise. Chelsea need to F off, man. No, Mike is very strong sources. I love Lacazette, I can't lie. Rich, I must admit, I do too. It pains me when I talk about selling him. But I must admit, I'm looking at him. I've been watching him all season, unofficially. You know, sometimes when I do watch alongs with Lee, I'm watching him. And I think to myself, oh no, like something's happened. And I don't know if it's the girls he's allegedly messing around with. Something has happened. And I feel like maybe this is the time to cash in on Lacazette. So yeah, Lacazette must be sold to invest in a left winger. One bad season, everyone goes nuts. It's a mountain. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But also, I will say this, Rich. Sometimes it's better to cash in now that you see that little question mark. Wait for another season like this, and his value comes down. Not to mention he's got 2 years on his contract. Next year will be worth a lot less. It might be the sensible thing is to cash in now. Check the news chig, it's everywhere. Uh, Honestly, I don't see the urge in selling him. I think we have too many bad apples in the starting 11, not enough creativity or dynamism. Chelsea, I think that is the one sentence you said for the last year. I actually agree with 90% of it. I don't necessarily. I feel like there's an urge to sell him because we are in that position. We're a self-sufficient club. Anyone who believes in this climate that Stan, or quite frankly, any owner is going to dive into their pockets and start spending crazy money, it's nuts. You know, business, full stop, is under a lot of scrutiny and pressure due to this ongoing virus stuff. Why football is not exempt from that? I think people need to slow down. If you think this is going to be a mad transfer window, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Not just for Arsenal, I mean, generally. I don't think it's going to be a mad transfer window. Um, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's not every day I agree with you, but I agree with that. And I agree with that too, to be honest. Um, Laka's had one bad season and everyone's slagging him off. I get rid of Laka and a lot more of our dead players. I think there are a lot more dead players that need priority, but I also think that sometimes if your asset is there that can potentially collect you 45 million, I think you've got to take it. I've said it from. I think what helps in this situation is that you've got Martinelli sitting there. So if Aubameyang and Laka were to leave, let's say you were to get a left winger and I don't know, a striker like a Jonathan David or someone like that, or the Celtic Edward guy, right? I I think potentially just by putting a left winger and a striker there, potentially we could look a lot more dynamic, which I think is a lot of our problem is we don't look dynamic, we look predictable. And the moment we have two wingers, in inverted commas, in Uber and Pepe, that we know are going to cut in. We just know what they're going to do. And it would be nice to just have some wingers that won't do that. That's why I quite like the idea of having a Ryan Fraser there, because although I think some people would be disappointed with the signing, it'd be something a little different to what we have. He's a natural winger. He's a winger that likes creating chances. And all right, he had a piss poor season this season, but how many times have we seen a player who was expected to leave one summer have a piss poor season the summer after, who haven't moved and has a piss poor season? It happens. So yeah. All right, 6 more minutes and I'm out. 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes and I'm out. Chig, how are you, mate? Abdi, I'm good, man. I hope you're well. Any player can. Oh yeah, all right then. Um, Saka's contract needs to be sorted out. Yeah, I think to be honest, I don't think that's a money thing. I think that's a he doesn't want to be a left back thing. So I can understand it. His problem is that he did so well in that position, and because he's young, there'll be a lot of pressure on. Oh well, we know better than you. You've done really well. Why don't you stick at it? For me, I hope he sticks at it, and I hope he gets a new contract saying that he's a winger because I want him and Tierney to play in the same team together because I feel like there's your dynamism right there. It's just in those two. They're such dynamic attacking players that I think they could potentially work really well together. Imagine him, Tierney, and Martinelli in the same team. You can't be telling me they ain't that there right there is not immediate a dynamic trio. Um, 5 more minutes. Let me get to the bottom. If I miss anyone's donation, I apologize. I literally try and look out for those quickly so I don't miss those. Chig, do you see any youngsters coming through next season? That's a good question. I would love it if Balogun can come through. He's a young British Nigerian. I know Arsenal produced British Nigerians like it's nothing, but that's another one. Very, very good, technically good player. I think he um, is he 18, 19 now? But he's very, very good. Such a natural goal scorer. I think he potentially might do something if given the chance, and that is a big if. I think he's definitely the most ready out of the people still playing at that level. We've got a defender that's pretty good. I've forgotten his name for the life of me. We've also got a midfielder that used to play alongside Robbie Burson, who again I've forgotten the name of him for the life of me. Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. He's better than Nketiah. But the problem is, I don't think we will see it until Balogun leaves, and that's my concern. But I think it's much better than Nketiah. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased because Nketiah's Ghanaian, and I know what people are going to say. Well, you're just saying that because Nketiah's Ghanaian and Balogun's Nigerian. All right, but just go and watch the kid yourself. I think he's very, very good, natural goal scorer. Got a lot of poise, plays beyond his years. To me, should have been considered way before Eddie. Might need a loan to prove what he actually can do. You know, are we going to go and get Havertz? We've got more chance of me having a threesome with Kelly Brook and Beyonce. Let me just put that out there right now. No chance. No chance. Medley, no. Said it from morning. I don't think it's good enough. I know people don't like to hear that about one of our own. I said it from day one. I personally don't think that Medley is good enough. If he comes through and does well and exceeds, fine. I'll hold my hands up and I'll apologize. But I've seen the kid play. I am not impressed. I think people like him because he's big. Like he's tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4". But to me, I'm not impressed with him. Straight up. When's the next cooking video, Chi? Yeah, apologies. That one should have gone up yesterday, like a donut. I I put the video for 8 o'clock today, not 8 o'clock yesterday. Yeah, so it's programmed into YouTube. Yeah, that's my fault. So it should drop this evening. So keep an eye on that. I hope your wife shot isn't in earshot of the threesome. Oh, but she knows. She knows I love Kelly Pro. She already knows. She already knows. Oh no, that's Rich's comment. She already knows. She already knows I love Kelly Brook. She knows it already. And she damn sure knows I love Beyonce. So, um, Chig, if we were to find a land party, who would you realistically partner with him? I think for me, if it was up to me, Um, I mean, I've got a feeling that we're going through all this effort to buy Partey just to partner him with flipping Granit Xhaka, which is such a. I ain't gonna lie, it's such a disappointment. But I've got a feeling that that is where we're headed. But if it was up to me, I think you go out there and you go and get someone of Ceballos type of ilk, um, who's better than Ceballos if you can help it. Um, I like this Espanol kid. I must admit, if we can go and get him, I would love that. But I think you need someone with a little bit of guile and creativity. I would love someone that can challenge Mesut Ozil as well, actually, in his position. Because listen, I made peace with the fact that Mesut's going to stay 1 more year. It is what it is. I'm not going to get upset by it now. It is what it is. Just from a completely unbiased point of view, everybody in this team, including Mesut Ozil, should be challenged for their place, especially Mesut Ozil. And I feel like, for me, um, I'm hoping that maybe Smith Rowe might be that guy. Not necessarily to play alongside Partey, but to challenge Mesut Ozil for his number 10 spot, for sure. But it's going to need someone that is able to do that consistently. I like Smith Rowe. I think, to me, he looks like a number 8. I think he likes playing quite deep. And I don't think that's necessarily. I think he looks like he's got creativity, though. But I feel like, to me, he likes to get involved a lot. So he clearly models his game to that kind of De Bruyne type of character. Great, but I feel like I don't know if he has at least a future at Arsenal as a number 10. But yeah, I think you're probably going to need to start trusting him now. I mean, I like the kid. Let's see if he's got it. If it was up to me again, I'd loan someone like a Willock, personally. Um, I'd keep Eddie, maybe, possibly. Oh, I don't know. I still don't think he'll make it, to be honest. I'd promote a Balogun, but that's just me. You guys know this already. There's a lot of things I do. There's a lot of things I do. Samuel, hey Chig, would you demolish the Emirates Stadium just to go back to Highbury? I wouldn't have left Highbury in the first place, Samuel. But that's just me. I loved Highbury, the charm and everything. I loved everything about that place. But now we're here. It is what it is, man. The Emirates Highbury argument is an old one. Highbury, of course, was always better. If you went to Highbury, you already know the answer to this question. But to me, it's like, who cares now at this point? Let's just make the best out of the Emirates and try and bring some freaking major trophies to the place. Uh, Disagree with Omar, you get blocked. Georgie, what have you done? What have you done? Omar, I hope you're not blocking people. Time people out. All my mods, unless there's some blatant racist stuff or insulting stuff happening, don't be blocking anyone. Only I should block people. Just time people out. Mr. Hernandez, my guy. Shib, we need to meet up and have some spicy tacos and Coronas. Well, enough of the Coronas. Gosh, I feel so sorry for them. They must be losing out so much money right now. But yeah, brother, soon come. I think it's probably more likely now that I will be up there before you're down here again. So as soon as I'm up there, I promise I'll hit you up. I'll let you know when I'm about. Oh gosh, even Rich is complaining. So I take it a little bit more seriously now that I see Rich complaining. Omar, I hope you're cool. I hope you're cool. Georgie, the next combat show is on Friday. It's every Friday normally. Mr. Roberts, greetings from Toronto. Great show once again. What do you believe more, Uber speaking to Real Madrid or Arsenal trying to tie Uber to a new deal? Oh, good question. Good question. You want to believe the last one. I want to believe that Arsenal are more committed to tying him down than selling him. But I also think Arsenal are very money focused. And I do believe it's more likely to me. They're probably doing both, but it would not surprise me if at this stage Arsenal said, all right, we're going to sell you, Pierre, as you're not going to agree to the contract. So Madrid, cool. We'll let you go there. Bruv, I'm not crapping on anything I've said. He's playing to standards. He scored 7 open goals and plays open play counter attacks. Who's that about? Is that about Lacazette? Uber talking to me on Madrid, Albuquerque. Highbury could it be expanded due to the houses around it? Yeah, that was always the problem. Yeah, don't worry, I'm about to head up out of here. I know he's live. I'm about to head up out of here. All right, guys, please do stick a like on this video. Crush that like button. See how Leeds trying to encroach on my time. My man starts at 5 normally. Go to his chat and backslap him for me. Tell him that Chig sent you. What are you starting early for? Please do stick a like on this video. Charlie Gilmore, no, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough. It's another one I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. No, 10. And just my opinion. Please do stick a like on this video before you go. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. This seems to be a good time for you guys. 4 o'clock. And while I'm working from home, this suits me. So I might do this from now on. 4 o'clock. Later tonight, I will be dropping my 3rd and final cooking video with the missus. So make sure you look out for that. That's at 8 o'clock that will drop. I think that is pretty much it. We'll see. You never know, man. You never know. We'll see. I think he's got good talent. So you never know. We will see. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go and enjoy Lee's show. Like I said, go and bombard his chat. Tell him I sent you. Tell him Chig wants to know why you started so early, brother. And we're off. I'm off out of here. All right, take care. Peace.